Good morning. Most of y'all have heard of the candy M&Ms before, but do you know how it got its name or the history behind it? Today, I'd like to inform you of the history behind the M&M with main ideas such as the inventors, inspiration, partnership, and the fall of the partnership. Not only will this give you the history behind some people's favorite candy, but it'll also give you some insight into what the soldiers ate during World War II. The history of the M&M started with a man named Forrest Mars. Forrest Mars had candy making in his blood. He was the son of Frank Mars, and Frank Mars started candy making with his mother as a little boy, and he turned it into a profitable company called Mars Incorporated. Mars Incorporated made bars such as the Milky Way and Mars bars at the time. Once Forrest graduated college, he moved to Chicago to take his place in the family business. However, him and his father got into a dispute about how the business should be ran. So, Forrest took a buyout from his father, and this buyout included the rights to sell Mars Incorporated candy overseas, according to Lemson MIT. Little did Forrest know his travels to England would lead to such an inspiration. While in England, the Spanish Civil War was occurring, and it was extremely hot outside. Forrest was perplexed by this British candy called Smarties. The Smarties were eaten by the soldiers at the time, and he noticed how they did not melt in the pockets or hands of the soldiers even in the summer heat. So he was inspired by this, so he found out what goes into the Smarties, and it was composed of a chocolate filling with a hard candy shell. So he returned to the United States and tried again with his father to work in the family business. However, they got into another dispute, and it sent him looking for a new partner that could supply him with the resources he needed to create what we now know today as M&Ms. His search for a new partner led him to Bruce Murray. Bruce Murray also had candy making in his blood. Bruce Murray was the son of William Murray, who at the time was the president of Hershey's. Like Forrest Mars, Bruce Murray also did not like how his father was running the company. So when Forrest Mars came to Hershey with a sample of what we know today as the M&M, he happily took a partnership with him that was 80-20, and with this partnership came Hershey's chocolate, sugar, and technology. So with the help of his new partner, Forrest's dreams came to fruition. Forrest Mars and Bruce Murray created the company Mars and Murray, in which their initials led to the name behind the name of the M&M. And on March 3rd, 1941, they acquired the patent for their M&M, according to Lemson MIT. And soon after, the M&Ms were started to be produced in Newark, New Jersey. However, a year later, World War II began. So instead of selling M&Ms in the stores, they sold M&Ms exclusively to the armed forces overseas until the World War II ended in 1946. And when the soldiers returned home, they were raving about this candy they were eating overseas. Because of this, when M&Ms were sold in store again, their sales were sky high. However, the larger the company grew, the more problems the partners encountered. Unfortunately, Forrest Mars and Bruce Murray split their partnership. With the increase in sales, Bruce Murray found that Forrest Mars was increasingly hard to work with. According to Mr. Jensen's article, this scandalous story behind M&M's name. And Murray wanted to leave. So Murray accepted a $1 million buyout from Mars, according to Mr. Jensen, and that was in 1949. In addition, with this buyout, Mars no longer used Hershey's chocolate to create the M&Ms. So he reverted the chocolate back to the chocolate produced by Mars Incorporated, and along with that, he also brought back M&Ms under the Mars Incorporated name. In 1950, the M&Ms got their signature M on them, and that developed the slogan, "Look for the M on every piece," according to the M&M's website. In 1980s, the M&M was the first candy to travel to space, and it was selected from the astronauts and the crew, according to the M&M's website. In addition, in 1984, plain M&Ms and peanut M&Ms became the official snack of the Olympic Games, according to M&M's website. Today, Mars Incorporated remains a family-owned business in which the recipes are top secret, and they look to invent new candy annually. And Hershey's is their biggest competitor, according to History.com. As the information becomes more present, the history behind the M&M comes to an end. I hope you learned about the history behind the M&M along with the inventor's inspiration and partnership that led to the creation. M&Ms have an interesting backstory, but it is one that allowed this candy to make history several times. Thank you.